Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Okay, let us start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone once again to this morning session. We are in the 18th chapter entitled The Conclusion, the Perfection of Renunciation, the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is considered to be the summary of all the chapters. And also it brings us to the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. So anybody would like to volunteer to recap what has happened so far? Anybody? No one? Okay. You all were there, right? In the previous sessions. Hopefully you are there. Okay, I'll just give you the summary till the last 7 shlokas. Last 6 shlokas, because today we need to start from the 7th shloka onwards. So now the summary is like this. So the chapter begins with the Arjuna asking a question to Krishna. So he wants to ask, he asked a question like, he wants to know the definition of, or the difference between sannyasa and tyagi, or the purpose of a sannyasa and tyaga. Okay, so now Krishna defines, he defines it. He says sannyasa is an actually renounced order of life, and a sannyasi is one who accepts different symbols of sannyasa, like a tridan, like having a danda, and having a saffron, shaving the head, all that. And it is also added up with, sannyasa is also added up with giving up kamya karmas, but he will perform nitya karmas. He doesn't give up any nitya karmas, but he gives up kamya karmas. What are those kamya karmas? Kamya karmas are those karmas which we perform as per our own desire, which are not prescribed. What we want to perform, we do it. And nitya karmas are like, they are prescribed duties. And then Krishna talks about tyagi. A tyagi is one who is renounced. A person who is renounced is a tyagi, and this tyagi may do both kamya karma and nitya karmas also. But what does he renounce? Why is he called tyagi? Because he gives up all the results of his activities, of these activities, whatever activities he performs at the level of kama or nitya karmas, prescribed duties, or anything that he performs out of his own desires. So tyagi is not a sannyasi, but a sannyasi can also be a tyagi, because what does the sannyasi has? Sannyasi also has, he is not only in the order of renunciation, but he also has the spirit of renunciation. So that's why he can be also be a tyagi. Now here in this chapter, Krishna only emphasizes more on spirit of renunciation, tyaga, than on the order of renunciation, which is to take up the sannyas. Okay, and then Krishna speaks in the 3rd shloka. He talks about there are two kinds of opinions. There are two kinds of opinions about tyaga. What is that? Some people think that all karmas are of faulty. All the activities that we do should be given up because they are all faulty. So other people, but what does the other people say? The other people say, no, we should not give up any of the karmas. We should act all the, we should do all the actions. We should not give up any kind of karma here, activities. So then Krishna speaks his own opinion. He says to Arjuna, now hear my opinion. Though there are two kinds of people who have two opinions, but where some people says all karmas has to be given up, and some people say we should not give up any karma. But you hear me my opinion. Then Krishna say that I would say you don't need to give up the karmas of yajna, dana or tapa. But you have to give up only the results of that yajna, dana and tapa. That is what Krishna's opinion. We should not give up the activities, but we should give up the results of that activities that we have performed. So we should not be attached to the results of whatever we are performing. So what Krishna was saying, actually he's saying that giving up of any of the results also, how it has to be given up. It has to be given up as an offering to the Supreme ultimately. And he says this giving up, the tyaga, actually can be done in three modes. One is sattva guna, tamo guna and rajoguna. So now Krishna talks about these three, the tyaga in different modes. He is going to speak a tyaga in ignorance, tyaga in passion, and tyaga in goodness from the shloka 7th onwards. Okay, so we will now start the 7th shloka. So anyone volunteers to read the shloka?
Can I, Mataji, can I read?
Yes, Baro Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Niyatasya tu sanyasaha karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityagaha tamasa parikirtitaha. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can I read translation? Translation by
translation part you can read.
Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Purport, Jai Prabhupada Ki. Work for material satisfaction must be given up, but activities which promote one to spiritual activity, like cooking for the Supreme Lord and offering the food to the Lord and then accepting the food, are recommended. It is said that a person in the renounced order of life should not cook for himself. Cooking for oneself is prohibited, but cooking for the Supreme Lord is not prohibited. Similarly, a sannyasi may perform a marriage ceremony to help his disciple in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. If one renounces such activities, it is to be understood that he is acting in the mode of darkness. Hare Krishna, Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu. So now here we see that the next three shlokas, the 7th, 8th, and 9th shlokas, Krishna talks about tyaga, means giving up of results in three modes. Giving up of results can be done in different modes. Generally, Krishna usually speaks, when it comes to the modes, he speaks about Sattva-guna first and at the end Tamoguna. But here Krishna is speaking in a reversed order. Let's see what he speaks about tyaga and ignorance. So what is he saying about the tyaga and ignorance? He's saying the prescribed duties, should not be given up. Niyatasya tu sanyasaha karmano nopadatyate. So means what? Niyatastu karmana refers to nitya karma here, not the kamya karmas, but they are nitya karmas. If you give up nitya karma, so what Krishna is saying? He's saying mohatasya parityagas tamasaha parikirtitaha. So what is he saying? He's saying if you give up the nitya karmas, with illusion, then that kind of renunciation is said to be in mode of ignorance. First of all, prescribed duties should not be given up. But if you give up because of the illusion, because of some kind of illusion or because of moha, then that kind of renunciation is considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Okay. And this is the definition for the mode of the activities tyaga in ignorance. Okay. And here Prabhupada is mentioning, we should not see the sannyasi can perform marriage ceremony, and he should not be cooked. He should not be cooking food for himself, but he can cook for the Lord. That is not prohibited. So for our own sense gratification should not be done. But if it is done for Krishna consciousness, for the advancement of Krishna consciousness, then it is good. If a person who is supposed to perform all these things, but he is not cooking, like that nitya karma means what? Prescribed duties. So you are supposed to work, and you feel like I will not work. For your own maintenance of livelihood, you are supposed to work, but you say that I'm not going to work anymore. Then you just give up everything, and you just remain without doing anything. So it means what? Then you are acting in the mode of darkness or in the mode of ignorance. So we'll go to the next shloka. Krishnamurti Prabhu, you can read, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Dukkamityeva yat karma kaya klesha bhayatyajit sakrutva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga palam labhet. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki lab. Anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. May I read purport, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who is in Krishna consciousness should not give up earning money out of fear that he is performing fruitive activities. If by working one can engage his money in Krishna consciousness, or if by rising early in the morning one can advance his transcendental Krishna consciousness, one should not desist out of fear or because of such activities are considered troublesome. Such renunciation is in the mode of passion. The result of passionate work is always miserable. If a person renounces work in that spirit, he never gets the result of renunciation. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So now Krishna is describing the tyaga in passion. So what is tyaga in passion or rajoguna? He's saying, dukkhamiti eva yat karma. Anyone who gives up the prescribed duties as kaya klesha or bhayat tyajet, out of fear of bodily discomfort, or kaya klesha means bodily troublesome. If it is troublesome to him because there is some trouble involved in performing the activities, or out of laziness, or because they cause discomfort, or out of bodily discomfort, like I have to take bath. Oh God, I have to take bath in the morning. How will I take bath? No, it takes a lot of effort. So I will not take bath in the morning. I will take in the afternoon. So people will, they don't do activities which are to be performed at its own time. They go and take bath at 1 p.m. That type of giving up of activities is said to be when a person gives up activities like that, prescribed activities, because of the trouble, because of the dukkham, because of kaya klesha, because of bodily discomfort, or because of bhaya, because of fear of bodily discomfort, then it is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. And not only that, Krishna says sakritva rajasam tyagam, means it is said to be renounced in the mode of passion. And then he says naiva tyaga phalam labet, such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation means what? Any activity that we perform there will be, there is a tyaga phalam. Tyaga phalam means because you have performed some renunciation, because of that you will achieve some result. So what is actually expected when you perform an activity in passion? You actually expect some liberation. Okay, you get liberation. That is an expectation if you give up an activity in passion, but you won't get that liberation also. If you perform an activity in that passion, whatever the tyaga phala you are supposed to get, that elevation of renunciation, that you will not get. That liberation you will not get, because you feel that these activities are troublesome, so you are giving up in that mentality. With the mode of passion, you are giving up, whimsically you are giving up your prescribed duties, which are mentioned in the injunctions in the scriptures, the principles in the scriptures. If you are not following it, then if you give it up, then you won't get even the liberation also. That is what Krishna is saying here. Then we'll move on to the next shloka. We'll read Sudha Mataji. Yes, you can read, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Dandavat.
Karyam ityeva yat karma niyatam kriyate Arjuna sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga satviko matah. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. Purport. Prescribed duties must be performed with this mentality. One should act without attachment for the result. He should be disassociated from the modes of work. A man working in Krishna consciousness in a factory does not associate himself with the work of the factory nor with the workers of the factory. He simply works for Krishna. And when he gives up the result for Krishna, he is acting transcendentally. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So now Krishna is speaking about tyaga in goodness. So he says, Karyam iti eva yat karma niyatam kriyate Arjuna. So he says, only because this karyam has to be done, this activity has to be done, means there is a sense of duty. If you perform an activity with the sense of duty or sense of responsibility, whether you like it or not, karyam iti eva yat karma, it's ought to be done, so I will perform it. So with that kind of mentality, when you perform an activity, it is said to be an activity in mode of goodness. And sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva, then if you give up the results of results of those activities, when you perform these activities, you will get some results. If you give up, if you renounce those results of the activities that you have performed, then that kind of tyaga, that kind of renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. Right? Understood? So this is what is Krishna is giving the definition of mode of tyaga in the mode of first in ignorance and then passion and then goodness. So here Prabhupada says the prescribed duties should be performed with one has to perform the prescribed duty, because one has to perform always prescribed duty at least in the mode of goodness. Ignorance and passion should not be there, but at least in the mode of goodness it has to be performed. So one should act without attachment for the results. Then he becomes disassociated with the modes of the work. So we also, for us also, we have to be very careful when we are performing the activities. So we in Krishna consciousness, what we do usually when we come to Krishna consciousness, we do activities, say we renounce or we give up some of the duties, saying they are Maya. No, I know. Since I'm serving Krishna, there is no need to do my prescribed duties. As Krishna will take care of everything. Like that, we think we become very renounced. But later on, we face problems because this is only a so-called renunciation. It is not. It is not actually. We are not acting on the level of transcendence. So because of that, we get into a lot of troubles. So that's why it is said that until our mind becomes fully absorbed in Krishna, we have to continue to perform our prescribed duties. We should never run away from our responsibilities. This is very, very important aspect of Krishna consciousness. So we have some okay, like I'll discuss about this little later. So just in a summary, let me summarize these 3 shlokas. Now here Krishna, like Prabhupada, like we spoke about Prabhupada, the summary of these 3, the Tyaga in Sattva Guna, Krishna is speaking, perform the duty only because it has to be done. And in Rajoguna, the Tyaga is to giving up duties because they are troublesome or because they give bodily discomfort. And in Tamoguna, you give up duties because of illusion or Maya or Moha, or because of lack of scriptural knowledge. So this is the summary of these 3 shlokas. Now we will go to the next shloka. Before we go to the next shloka, actually, we have seen that Krishna is speaking all these 3 modes, but there is something beyond these 3 modes of nature also. So he spoke about 3 flavors in which we can do Tyaga, but there is something beyond this. Like sometimes a pure devotee may not like to perform certain activities, but if Guru wants it, if Vaishnavas wants it, certainly a devotee will take up such activity. So there is nothing like, for them, they will not think of their own personal convenience or personal taste or something like that. Actually, they sacrifice their personal comfort or personal tastes and extend themselves to fulfill the desires of Vaishnavas. And that is very pleasing to Krishna. So when we are rendering different services to Krishna as part of our Bhakti Yoga, Krishna consciousness, if we prioritize the pleasure of Guru and Vaishnavas and Krishna ultimately, then definitely whatever we do is very pleasing to Krishna. So with this note, we will go to the next shloka. Who will read? Now Kishori Mataji.
Mataji, 1 second. Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
What you have given the example for? You please give me an example, Mataji, for that.
For which?
You have concluded this, Mataji. Now itself you have concluded. So that this the Vaishnavas do the work for the satisfaction of Guru and all those things. That is pleased to Supreme Lord.
Yeah.
Is it not? So that you please unfold that. That it is to
yeah,
unfold.
That is Krishna is going to unfold it in the next shloka. It will come, Prabhu.
Okay,
I just gave the.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji. Now, yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Shloka, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Na drishtyam kushalam karma kushalena nushajat ajjate tyagi sattva samavishto medhavi chinna sanshayah. Translation. The intelligent renouncer situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful or of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about work. Purport: a person in Krishna consciousness or in the mode of goodness does not hate anyone or anything which troubles his body. He does work in a proper place and at the proper time without fearing the troublesome effect of his duty. Such a person situated in a transcendence should be understood to be most intelligent and beyond all doubts in his activities. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so here now Krishna is continuing the discussion about renunciation. He talks about Medhavi, the wise renunciate. So who is that wise renunciate? He is that person, Nadveshti Akushalam Karma Kushale Nanshu Sajjate. Means a wise person is that person who does not hate the work which is inauspicious. Akushalam means inauspicious. Kushale means auspicious. Nor he is attached to the auspicious work. He is neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to the auspicious work. Basically, auspicious or inauspicious. If it is in a material plane, ultimately it's an auspicious only. When you say auspicious work, you won't consider that as devotional work there. And here it is on a material platform only. Okay. So on a material platform, an activity can be good, means auspicious, or bad, or like inauspicious. But a wise renunciate, he does not discriminate. He will not have any discrimination to perform good or bad act. He will not consider whether it is auspicious action or inauspicious action. If it ought to be done, he does it. For example, like Prabhuji had asked for an example, I'm telling. So Prabhupada had asked some of his devotees to go and preach in China. And he also asked to go and preach in Pakistan. And these are the places where, secular countries, like you cannot go and preach openly, even in Pakistan and all those places. But they have taken the, just to please their guru, the disciples, they have taken those words as their life and soul, and they went there, even in Russia and all those countries, they went and they preached. And the Krishna consciousness has flourished. But if you go through and hear the sacrifices that they have done, and then the adventures they have taken to propagate this Krishna consciousness is actually life-threatening. They have went through life-threatening, and some devotees have even given up their lives, in this process. But they have done it for the pleasure of Guru Krishna. They did not say whether it is good work or bad work, will it give me any good results or bad results? No, they just want to please Srila Prabhupada, who is his Guru. Okay, Prabhuji, whoever asked that question.
Hare Krishna, I got the point. I got.
Yeah, okay.
Hare Krishna.
So, and also this wise renunciate, Krishna is saying, this wise renunciate, he also has a clarity of thought. Why is he doing these activities? He will not have any confusions in mind. He has he's very clear. Why is he doing? That intelligent renouncer is situated in the mode of goodness. He has no doubts about work. This is little beyond the mode of goodness. Okay, here Krishna is speaking little beyond the mode of goodness. And Prabhupada very beautifully says that a person in Krishna consciousness or in the mode of goodness, he does not hate anyone or anything which troubles his body. He does not have that concept of envy, non-envious. That duality is not there. He is not in the plane of duality at all. He does not work in the plane of duality. He does work in the proper place and the proper time without fearing the troublesome effects of his duty. He is ready to do it. If it is pleasing to Guru and Krishna, he is ready to do it at the proper time and the proper place without any fear, without any person. They are ready to undergo their personal inconveniences also. Even Srila Prabhupada is like that. He went through a lot of life-threatening situations when he lived in the Bowery in New York. So there was a person who tried to kill Prabhupada, but still Prabhupada did not give up the preaching of Krishna consciousness there. Of course, he left the place, but he did not give up. But he had underwent that troubles, just because to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master. such a person situated in such a person is situated in transcendence, should be understood to be the most intelligent and beyond all doubts in his activities. So such a person who acts without any fear, without any concerning of the discomforts of his body, if he is performing the activities in the mode of goodness, without any dualities, then that person is considered to be the most intelligent, and he does all beyond all the doubts, without any doubts in his mind. Okay, so we'll move on to the next shloka. So now Krishna talks about true renunciate. Yes, Padma Mataji. Yeah, after Padma you can read, Prabhu.
Sure.
Nahi dehabrata sakshakyam tyaktam karmani asechatah yastu karma phala tyagi satyagiti abhidhiyate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. Purport. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that one can never give up work at any time. Therefore, he who works for Krishna and does not enjoy the fruitive results, who offers everything to Krishna, is actually a renouncer. There are many members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness who work very hard in the office or in the factory or some other place, and whatever they earn, they give to the society. Such highly elevated souls are actually sannyasis and are situated in the renounced order of life. It is clearly outlined here how to renounce the fruits of work, and for what purpose fruits should be renounced. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much. So now here, Krishna speaks about the true renunciate, true tyagi. He is the one who renounces the results of his actions. So here, Dehabrita. Krishna is talking about Dehabrita means an embodied soul. Is it possible for an embodied soul? Yes, to to a person who is in the body has to perform some activities. He cannot give up any activities. For example, even if you in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna tells that even to maintain your body, you need to do some work. You need to earn some livelihood, right? So even if someone is earning the livelihood, and someone else is earning the livelihood, and if they are providing you the food, still to maintain your own body, you have to eat, right? Means there is some work that is involved. That's an activity. So we have to do our regular duties, right? Some work has to be done as long as one is in the body. But by performing all these inevitable duties, a tyagi is one who gives up karma phala, the results of the activities. Such tyagi is called a true renunciate, because he renounces all the fruits of the action. So that's why he is considered to be a renunciate, a truly renunciate. So here, see, these are all the concepts which are already covered in the third chapter, and also in the fifth chapter. We are just revisiting them. If you recall, we have already discussed all these things earlier also. So we know that one can never give up work at any time. Therefore, like one has to work. But one who works for Krishna and does not enjoy the fruitive results of those activities, and he offers all the results, everything that he is getting to Krishna, that person is considered to be actually a renouncer. One need not take a sannyasi vastra, or like the clothes, and become a renouncer. But if you are performing your duty properly, and if you offer those results to Krishna, then that person is also considered to be a renouncer. Prabhupada mentions the same thing in the purport. Okay, so we'll move on to the next shloka. So 12th shloka. Who was that?
Hare Krishna. Can I read?
Yes, yes, yes.
Anishtamishram cha trividam karmana phalam bhavitya aginam pretya natut sannyasinam kvachit. The translation: for one who is not renounced the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accrue after death, but those who are in the renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A person in Krishna consciousness acting in knowledge of this relationship with Krishna is always liberated. Therefore, he does not have to enjoy or suffer the results of his acts after death. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So now here, what are the different activities that we do in our in this world? One is anishtam, means which we don't like. There are
Hare Krishna, Mataji, you're breaking. We can't hear.
Mataji, we are not able to follow you, Mataji.
Yeah, it's breaking. I couldn't follow at all.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, now
Yes,
it's
Mataji.
Now,
clear.
yes, yes, Mataji.
Okay. It is only from now, like just for this shloka or earlier also?
Yes, for this shloka.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
Mataji,
Can you please say from Anishtam, which we don't like, start from there, Mataji.
Yeah. So I was just telling that there are different activities that we do in this world, right? So what are those different activities? They fall under three categories. One is anishtam, means we do some activities which we don't like. And another is ishtam. We do activities which we like. And the third category is mishram, which Krishna is telling here, desirable, undesirable, and mixed. Mishram means combination of like and dislike. Like, for example, eating. So, some people may like to eat, right? They are foodies. We may like to eat, but washing plates we may not like. Some people may like to cook. Cooking they like, but cutting sabji they may not like. Okay. Anishtam, ishtam, mishram cha, trividam karmana phalam. So our activities are of three categories, and Krishna is saying the results are also for those three categories. The results are also of three categories. Okay. But a person, for a person who is renounced, so he is saying a person who is in the renounced order of life, they don't have to they don't have to suffer or enjoy for such results. Why? Because they are not performing any activity on the plane of material plane. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, an average person, when he performs activities, the result could be either pleasant or mix of both. So what is pleasant on the material plane? Like going to the heaven. Okay, the result of the pleasant activity is like going to the heaven. Many people do karma to go to heaven. And what is anishtam part? Means what is unpleasant part is going to the hell. Then there are some people who perform activities because of which there is a suffering and they go to the hell. So by going to the hell, they will suffer, and by going to the heaven, some people will have enjoyment. Okay, but when there is mishram, means when there is little happiness and suffering is there, it is in a human plane. It is in a earthly plane. So when we are performing activities, either we remain in earthly plane or we go to upper planets or lower planets. This is normally for a karmi. That's why I said an average person. But for a tyagi, because we are talking about here tyagi, right? But for a tyagi who performs activities on the material plane with the spirit of renunciation, for him, Going to hell, heaven, or being on earth, it doesn't matter. He doesn't even incur the results at all. He doesn't acquire any karma for whatever actions he is performing. He will not have any karma because he is doing all these activities with the spirit of renunciation and offering all the results to the Krishna only back. So that's why he will not incur any kind of karma. Understood? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Mataji, does it mean that, okay, now if you are cooking, we think in our mind we are doing for the pleasure of Krishna. So like that, so we will not accumulate anything.
Yeah.
When it says
Actually, when
sacrifice,
Mataji, cooking, actually, all this process involves the mode of goodness for this whole cooking process involves, till the eating level, there are many things which are to be considered. First thing is when you are buying the vegetables or whatever it is, that itself, when you are buying, you have to think, these vegetables I am buying to cook for Krishna. From there it starts. Okay.
Okay,
So thinking of
consciousness.
Krishna,
Yeah.
it is been with the consciousness of pleasing Krishna. Okay. So, and then you cut the vegetables, and then you cook. While cooking, see, for example, when we are cooking for our loved ones, whatever they like, we cook, right? Because they like that item, so we cook, and with so much enthusiasm we cook. We don't cook, I have to cook today, like that. We don't cook with that mentality. We cook with a lot of love and affection. So the same love and affection, that this offering is going to be eaten by Krishna, it will be honored by Krishna. So I should cook with love and affection. So with that thing we have to offer. And while offering also, you should not that you come and bring and put one plate in front of a person. And like, for example, if you're serving your husband, you just come and put a plate like that and you go off. Will he like it? No, right? You have to speak some words. You have to put dal, rice, whatever you're putting, in a very loving and pleasant way. Then the person who is honoring also will like it, and he will also feel happy. So similarly, when you're performing that act to Krishna while giving plate, you should do with love and affection. So everything has a consciousness involved in it. Okay, the loving consciousness is involved. So when you do such activities, you are never bound by this karma, in this material world. You are not bound by the modes of this material world.
Okay.
Got the point, Mataji?
Yeah.
It's actually
Mataji,
it's not
very
easy,
clear.
but we have to cultivate. This is a process of cultivation.
Yeah, it's any activity we have to think of that consciousness has to be there.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So you got now,
Mataji,
Mataji?
thank you. That was yes. That it was little doubt for me. That's why I wanted to ask.
Yeah. So here, Prabhupada also writes that the highest exhibition of renunciation is seen in a Krishna conscious person, where the devotee acts with the knowledge of his relationship with Krishna. So that's why he's working with attachment. See, working with attachment is at one level, and working with devotion is in another level. So definitely there will be no material results or material karma involved when we work with devotion. But when we work with attachment, actually, why this attachment, all this comes because the person who is performing an activity, he thinks that he's a performer. He thinks that I am the doer, I am the performer. So he will get attached to the results of that activity. When we are in the conception of I'm a performer, then you are attached to the results of that performance. But if we think we are part of multiple performers, who thinks like that? A Krishna conscious person thinks like that. We are part of multiple performers. Then whatever result we get, that credit is shared by multiple people, not with one person, right? So in short, devotee is what he does not have the doership mentality, because for an activity to be done, there are multiple doers involved, which he is aware of. So he understands that I am not the only doer. There are many doers who are involved here. So when a Krishna conscious person is performing an action, he is not attached to the results because he does not consider himself the doer of the actions. Okay. So that's how here Krishna concludes the topic of Tyaga and Sannyasa with these shlokas. Okay. So
yeah, with a serving attitude, as a servant, we can offer, right? We can do the work for him.
yes.
That also counts from Mataji?
Yes. Yes, Mataji.
Whatever we are doing, that bhava is important.
Correct.
Yes.
How about other activities, Mataji? General activities.
Krishna is a bhavagrahi.
Yeah,
Same.
general activities means what? Any general activity that you are doing, you are performing because you are supposed to perform, not because burdensome like that. If you feel burdensome and all, it is all considered a mode of ignorance. But you are performing because it is prescribed duty which I need to perform. So you perform it and you give the results of those actions. You are just doing the duty, like Arjuna. He is doing the duty and is giving up all the results to Krishna. Right? We have so many examples in our scriptures, like Ambarish Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. They all did whatever is supposed to be done. Yudhishthir Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, they have taken care of not just their houses, they have taken care of like universes, like the whole this Bharat Khanda, like that. So they have ruled Praja, and whole Praja was very satisfied. And they are not doing because they are kings, they are supposed to show their power prowess, not like that. They took up that activity as a service to Krishna, and they rendered also, and they were equally disposed to all the praja of their world, of this world. You got the point, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So we'll go to the next shloka, which is the last shloka for this session today. Who will read? Padma Mataji? Yes, Mataji.
I didn't Mataji.
Okay, Simran
Reading
Mataji.
again?
You can. Simran Mataji wants to read maybe.
Yeah.
Simran Mataji.
Okay.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yes. Go ahead, Mataji.
पंचैतानि महाबाहो कारणानि निबोध मे साम्ख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणाम्. Translation, shall I read, Mataji?
Yes. Translation purpose, both you read.
Translation. O mighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A question may be raised that since activity performed must have some reaction, how is that the person in Krishna consciousness does not suffer or enjoy the reactions of work? The Lord is citing Vedanta philosophy to show how this is possible. He says there are 5 causes for all activities, and for success in all activity, one should consider these 5 causes. Sankhya means the stock of knowledge, and Vedanta is the final stock of knowledge accepted by all leading acharyas. Even Shankara accepts Vedanta Sutra as such. Therefore, such authority should be consulted. The ultimate control is invested in the super soul, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya Chaham Hirti Sannivishtaha. He is engaging everyone in certain activities by reminding him of his past actions, and Krishna conscious acts done under his direction from within yield no reaction either in this life or in the life after death. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So now Krishna started to speak about the action, like now the actions. So he is going to speak how a person, now 5 factors of action. So he's going to speak about 5 factors of action. For this is he will speak from next shloka onwards. But the prelude is Krishna is telling to Arjuna that according to the Vedanta, according to the scriptures, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. So he's now going to speak all those things. So Prabhupada is mentioning that, as I said, like a Krishna conscious person, why does he not enjoy or suffer for the reactions of his work? Because he knows, he understands that every activity, he is not the only doer of the activity. There are 5 other factors are also involved while doing an activity. So because of that knowledge that he has gained, he does not get attached to the result of the work. Because of that, because he's offering that result, because he's not attached to the result and he's offering those results back to Krishna, he is above this realm of suffering and enjoyment. Okay, so that's why Prabhupada mentions very nicely in the last statement that Krishna conscious acts done under his direction, under the direction of the super soul, who is Krishna himself, from within, yields no reaction, either in this life or in the life after death also, even after in the next life also. Okay, so this is what is today's verses. Anybody has any questions, any queries?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can you repeat some last sentence once again, Mataji? I missed it.
So, yeah, the last sentence. So, Prabhupada is mentioning that Krishna conscious acts which are done under the direction of Krishna from within, they don't yield any reaction. Not only in this lifetime, but also in the life after death, also, in the next life also.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, any questions? Any comments? Who wants to give?
These 5 causes
Yeah,
will come in the next one, no? In the next sloka, 14.
Yes, Mataji. They come.
Okay.
Krishna will explain on this.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this whole chapter is like actually summary. This we have already read. Even it comes in the 5th chapter, 8th chapter. Krishna had already spoken about the doers of the activities. So it will come here. But what Krishna is doing here is, he is trying to analyze about this 3 modes. He is going little deeper way. We are actually revisiting the concepts of karma yoga only here, but we are analyzing the 3 material modes in a deeper way, like how intelligence works in 3 modes, how determination works in 3 modes, what is happiness in 3 modes, and many other concepts in 3 modes. That half of the chapter is covered, goes like in this only. And towards the end of the chapter, we see the what is meant to be a complete dedication to Krishna. And he speaks on, surrendering unto him completely, like that.
Yes.
Mataji? Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
So Mataji, in this last purport, in the last line, it is mentioned that he is encouraging everyone in certain activities by reminding him of his past activities. So I didn't follow this and Krishna consciousness, that last line, Mataji. Yeah,
actually this talks about sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta. Krishna sits in the heart and he directs, right? Like, so if you have done good deeds in your past, then you will also be continuing to do the good deeds in this present life also.
Okay,
but if you perform a bad deed, then you have to undergo the reactions for that, right? That is also directed by Krishna.
So if we have done anything small wrongs and if we are Krishna consciousness, then Krishna guides us to walk on the correct path and to correct our mistakes.
Yeah. Correct. Because unless we have a clean sheet, we can't go back to Krishna. So Krishna wants everything, all our past to be cleared, so that Krishna will help us. See what is it like? From him only comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So he will guide us, sitting in our heart.
Mata, this is like if we do something wrong, it will just come to our mind, oh, I have done this wrong, so I should not do it again, right? Is it like that?
Yeah, like that also, because Krishna gives a remembrance, right? Once you have done a wrong activity, then a sane person, a wise person will never do it again, because he has underwent already a reaction for it, and he knows there is a suffering in it, and he will give it up.
Yes.
Like in the
And
case
if he
of
does it
Ajanya,
again, and if he does it again, then of course he'll be punished. He'll suffer more, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in case of Ajamila, he had got a second chance. He was calling out the name of Lord Narayan, who is actually his son. But because the Lord is so merciful that because somebody is chanting my name, so he sends the Vishnu Dutas. And because of that, he also is able to see Yamadutas also. He was seeing Yamadutas and Vishnu. He was very frightened to see Yamadutas. That's why he called out the name Narayan. So, and then because he already got to know that he has got a second chance. So after that, before this incident, he was performing all wrong activities. He was doing thievery. He was stealing. He was killing the people. To get money to maintain his family and all that. But then after that, he gave up everything. He went to Haridwar and he completely dedicated his life only to Krishna. So then he went back to, he perfected his life and he went back to Godhead. Like that.
Mataji, thank you, Mataji. This is a wonderful explanation. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you so much to everyone.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Mataji, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Lakshmihan Mataji, are you there? Okay. With all your permission, I'm just